recording. Yay. Welcome to Purpose and Profit. I'm your host, Michelle Van de Pass, and today I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled, to have Kristin Shorter, who does GracePoint parenting, parenting by human design. It's going to be awesome to hear what she has to say about how to deal with my almost teenage generator girl. Okay, welcome to the show, Kristin.
Thank you, Michelle. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
So to start with, for people who do know human design, give us like the one sentence of who you are in human design language.
Okay, I am a 1-3 generator. I am level 4 certified. I'm also certified to do family coaching, relationship readings, and life cycle analysis readings.
Awesome. And for people who don't know human design, this is like astrology on steroids, right? Maybe you can say it better, though. Give us the synopsis of what that is.
Human design is a synthesis of Eastern and Western astrology, and it divides everyone up into 5 different types and gives everyone a strategy to interface with the world.
Yeah, great. I love that. Real simple, clean explanation. So one of the types is generator, which I mentioned is my daughter, and you're a generator.
And I'm a generator, yes.
And I'm a manifesting generator, which I know is my type. So we'll talk about that. Tell me, because we're going to talk specifically about parenting today, why is it important to even know? It's like we have parented children for, eons, for whenever. Why do we need to know what our child's type is?
Whenever you understand your child, then you can help them support themselves and become independent. Today, the population, there's mainly single moms, and so you don't have that support that you had in the past. And so any little tool or tidbit that can help you is going to save you a lot of time and energy.
Yeah, time and energy. We all need that. So it's like all moms, though, I think, know their kids.
Yeah.
And right. So I already know my kid, right? And I know she's a generator, but I don't know enough yet about what that really means in terms of parenting. You're going to help me here. But I think what I've heard you say before, because we've talked before, is it gives you specific strategies.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
To work within their type. So tell me like one strategy to work with my generator child that I might use.
So if you have a manifesting generator like yourself or a generator, then their strategy is to respond using their gut. And so having body consciousness is really good. And then asking them yes or no questions and getting them to make this guttural response that sounds like this: for yes, and for no. And so whenever you ask a generator or a manifesting generator a yes or no question, they have this ability to kind of tap into what they need without really thinking about it. It's just a gut response.
So one of the things that I have going on with my daughter that I don't think is unique is I'll ask her a question, because I've learned to ask yes, no questions, is I just get no for everything, right? For everything. No, no, no. And so is that typical of generators, or is that just typical of children?
That's just typical of children.
Okay. So what do I do? Is it...
she may be saying no because she's not interested in what you're asking her. And so trying to ask her, like, well, what do you know what you would want to do? Is there something we could do together? Is there a way I could support you? Instead of just asking, do you want to go to the movies? Do you want to go out to eat? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And so kind of asking yes or no questions about what it is she is interested in will help you get a focused answer.
So for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what their child's chart is, I'm going to post the link, but do you have a link where people can go right now and get a chart? I think you have one. It's actually, I think there's one on GracePoint, right? GracePoint, matrix.com/, Kristin-Shorter. There'll be a place right there. How's that? People can go get their chart. That'll work, right?
That works.
And so tell us about the other types. There's you mentioned
so that was
generator.
The generator and manifesting generator. Then the 3 other types don't have the yes or no guttural response. One type is the manifestor, and actually asking a manifestor questions is incorrect. Because their strategy is to kind of do whatever they want to do. And these are very strong-willed, determined, independent children who, at a very young age, want to dress themselves and feed themselves regardless of what a mess they make or whether they match or not. And so telling them what you want is going to help you communicate with them. For example, I'm curious about, or it would help me if you could tell me more about this. Or, whenever you
so open-ended.
Yes, but as long as it's not a question. I mean, saying, what did you think about that movie? That's a question, and that is actually not correct for a manifestor. It actually turns them off in a way, and so they don't communicate as easily as they would if you just inform them what you want. Like, I would like to know more about this. I want to know what your favorite color is. I want to know who your favorite friend is right now.
It goes a little bit counterintuitive to everything we've been taught about. Ask open-ended questions. Let the other person, give their feedback, right?
Exactly.
They will still give feedback, I presume. They'll still tell you what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But so give me another example, because I'm still a little stuck on how I'd communicate with my manifestor child. So let's say there's homework to do.
Okay. So you can tell your manifestor child, I'm curious if you're going to do your homework now or if you're going to do it later.
Okay. So that's even a little bit of a Montessori approach, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So giving the choice.
Yeah.
But not giving them like, are you going to do your homework? That's okay.
I mean, you can if there's no, if it's okay that they don't do their homework, if it's optional or something, but yeah.
Okay. So we've got generator, manifesting generator, manifestor. What's next?
Next is the projector. And the projectors their strategy is to wait to be invited. And so the kindest thing you can do for a projector is give them a lot of invitations, or if you're a parent of a projector, facilitate invitations for them. For example, they might ask you, Mom, can you come over to so-and-so's house and knock on the door with me? And that's actually correct for them. And they'll actually find that more people they'll engage with more people whenever they have someone facilitating an invitation for them. But you can talk to them however you want. You can ask them yes or no questions. You can ask them open-ended questions. You can tell them, you can inform them, I'm curious about. There's the way to communicate with a projector is to really let them talk and listen to them. That's the bottom line.
And don't all kids need that, though?
Absolutely. And I would say a projector may be a little bit more than the other types, because the projector has a tendency to be able to just walk into a room and intuitively understand everyone in the room. However, they lack self-understanding and self-awareness, and they have to learn that. And so having an adult help facilitate that and get them to a point where they do understand themselves is going to be key for them to having invitations and interacting with the world easier.
So let's use that same example of homework, if that's okay. So how would I invite my projector child to get their freaking homework done?
You could say, I'm available for 1 hour and I can help you do your homework during this time. Is this a good time for you? It's much, you have more variety. Or you can say, do you want to do your homework now or later?
But that's not an invitation the same way the first one was, or is it?
It is, because you're asking them, do you want to do your homework now or later?
Okay.
And the thing about the projector, the invitations are really only for the big things in life, like relationships, maybe business partners, moving to a new place or a new city. However, whenever you're parenting a projector, it's really awesome if you could get them used to receiving invitations.
Okay, get them used to receiving invitations. All right. Yeah. And then making a decision on it. Do they have to make a decision right away?
No. They don't have to. You can tell them, you know, if they say, I don't know, then you can say, all right, I'll ask you in 5 minutes. Is that okay? And then if they say, I don't know again, then say, okay, well, here's my schedule. And if you need me, then I'm available at this time. And so that's the bottom line. Like, this is the choice.
Okay. Got it. All right. So what have we got left? Reflector.
Yes. The reflector.
Tell me about my reflector child.
The reflector child, their strategy is to wait 28 days. It's a lunar cycle.
So let me just ask, let me interrupt you. Is that the one where there's not very many in the population?
The reflector, there's less than 1% in the population.
Wow. I find that amazing. So are they often like outcasts? Do they feel outcasts, or do they not feel that they're such a minority?
They know there's something different about them, and they have this chameleon ability to adapt to any situation, any person, any environment. And but then whenever they're out of that environment, they change and morph again. And so they know that they're not like everybody else, and there's something different there. They're also extremely sensitive to worldwide events, international events, like what happened in Paris. They can sense those things, and they don't know what's going on or why they're sad or why this, before they happen even. And then whenever it happens, they may not understand, why am I so sad about that? This person isn't this person, because it affects them in a really big way, because a reflector is completely open. And so they're able to take in all of the energy from the community that they're in and amplify that energy. So that's why their strategy is, whenever they're making a major decision in their life, is to wait 28 days, because they really need that time to dissect what is theirs and what is the people around them, their friends, their community.
So so I just want to get clarity here. Is there a correlation, Kristin, with like empathic children or indigo children and type, or is it really two different things and this type just happens to be
That's yeah, okay, that's the indigo children. That's a little bit separate, because you can have very empathic children that are not reflectors. However, a reflector is hands down empathetic, but you can also have other types that are also empathetic, that are extremely sensitive or intense. Okay.
All right. So how do we work with, so we can't say take 28 days to finish your homework, right? So what do we do with the homework example?
Okay. So with homework and with a reflector, they may not have a lot of energy to do homework for like an hour and get it all done. So they may need to take frequent breaks. So breaking it up into smaller bites for a reflector is a very kind and loving thing to do. And having that patience to do that is also going to really help them understand who they are, and that they can accomplish goals as long as they stay focused and they have a plan so that they can follow.
Now, do all kids need a plan? Or these kids need more of a plan?
If the more structure they have, the more they're going to not be so chaotic. When you're so open like that, you're taking in all these different energies. You don't really know what's yours, what's not yours, and you don't understand your emotions. But if you have a plan for those children, then it's kind of easier for them to break away from different energies and stay in the integrity of their own energy to get things accomplished and to figure things out.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. So we've gone over the 5 types, and we've told people that they can go to GracePoint Matrix and get a chart. Just look up your name under parenting and request a chart, right? For themselves and for their children. is it really complicated if you have 3 kids and they're all different? Like, oh my gosh, it sounds like you're going to be asking one child, you're going to be giving one an invitation, one and well, I can't even remember what the other one is now because it's already so complicated. So break it down for me. How do you work with it when you've got kids that are all different types?
Number one, just having the awareness of what each child needs. And once you start really enforcing their strategy, it becomes so natural and so effortless to parent them, because not only do they feel loved and supported, they also feel capable because they understand their strategy, and you keep reinforcing that to them. And so I have a daughter, she's a generator. I have a son who's a manifestor, and I have another son who's a projector.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you get it. Yeah, you totally get it. Okay. And so what age are your kids?
Currently they are 15, 7, and 6.
Wow. And what age did you start telling them about this system and human design? Do they participate in it? Do they work with each other in the system? Does it help sibling rivalry, I guess, is really my question.
It really does. I mean, it was incredible. And it's changed my family in a profound way from the way that I was raised and the way that I see other people who have lots of children interacting with them. Whenever I found human design, my kids were 1, 2, and 9. And after I learned it, I gave it to them instantly. And we started talking about, this is how you need to talk to your brother. This is how you need to talk to your sister. And we've been doing that since since they were very small. So they've had that foundation built for them. Nice.
Now, one of the things you and I talked about off air for just briefly a moment was how to help in the tantrum stage. So we talked briefly at the beginning, my daughter's just going into teenage years, right? So we get the no, and the door slamming. It feels like we're reinventing the 2 and 3-year-olds, right? From back then. So tell me how we can use this for tantrums at either at that age or any age.
Well, whenever your child is acting out, there are these 4 little strategies you can do to interpret their behavior. Whenever your child is saying no a lot, just like whenever they were 2 to 4 years old, but we're feeling powerful, because whenever you tell someone no, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I'm not going to do that. And you feel this power and this control. And so whenever they become teenagers and they're telling their parents no, it's because they are feeling powerful again. And so if you're experiencing your child saying no a lot, there's 2 things I want to ask you. One, how are you feeling? Are you feeling annoyed and like frustrated? Or are you feeling stubborn as the parent, Michelle?
Well, I'm a manifesting generator, so I always feel frustrated when I'm not in flow.
Okay.
When I'm in flow, I'm fine. But when I'm not in flow, I'm like, good grief, would you say something besides no? And it's definitely that frustrating energy.
Okay. So based on how you are feeling, because you're feeling annoyed, what I would say is your daughter is probably wanting some one-on-one attention from you. All children have basic needs, and attention is one of them. And for a child who's saying, especially whenever she's going through this transition into her teen years, I would create little pockets of attention, like either 10 minutes or 15 minutes, where you're spending this one-on-one time with her. And the way that you're doing the attention, it's not like, oh, we're going to talk about butterflies or we're going to talk about this. You're letting her decide what she wants to talk about. And so you're asking her, I have 10 minutes and I just wanted to come in here and talk to you. What's up? And you can have an open-ended question, or, as a generator, if you want to ask her, is now a good time to talk? Are you open to sharing your day with me? If not now, is there a better time? And so that way you're kind of respecting her boundaries, and you're pulling those gut responses out. So The thing about the sacral is even if she doesn't want to do something, but if her sacral is responding, she's going to have to do it. So that's
okay. So let's go back to that because you touched on that a little bit earlier about a sacral response. Mm-hmm. So explain what that really is now.
Okay. Whenever you are responding using your sacral, you're not doing it from your mind. And so your body is saying, and it's a really big commitment. The sacral in human design is the strongest motor. And so it's a very powerful life force energy. And so when you get it to commit to something, it's keeping that commitment.
And when we say it, are we talking about a chakra? Are we talking about what is the it? What is the sacral? The
sacral in human design is a motor, and it's the center that will respond with a yes or no, and so
it's the gut.
Correct.
Okay, so we're talking about a gut instinct.
Yes.
And once we activate that, then it's hard to like say, "Oh no, I didn't really mean that." Like, yes, I agreed to do my homework. You can't go back on it because it's your own gut, right? Right. Am I understanding that?
Exactly. So sometimes, if someone's saying, hey, do you want coffee? And you don't like coffee, but your gut's going, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Okay. So Cindy, who's on our chat right now, says, do some practice questions with me so people can hear it. Are you open to that?
I would love to. Are you ready, Michelle?
Yeah. Boy, live TV. Okay, let's go.
All right. So whenever I ask you a yes or no question, you're going to respond using for yes or for no.
Okay.
Okay. So are you ready? Do you like chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like coffee?
Coffee? Was that it? Coffee?
Yes. Do you like coffee? Do you like the color blue? Yeah. Do you like where you live? Do you like going to the parks?
Do you what was that?
Do you like the mountains?
Do
you like camping?
See, that's a trick question.
Okay, so there we go. So whenever you get to a place where you're like, yeah. Okay, so your mind's kind of getting involved. Like, I would need to ask you some questions around camping. Like, do you like camping in the winter? Do you like camping in the summer? Do you like camping with an RV? Do you like camping with a tent? And that would get more clarity.
Right. So I can see how this would be really useful for adults too, trying to make a decision. So I was in my gut. You're taking me through it. And I'm like, yeah, I do like where I live. And it's like I wanted to... Right? It's like I wasn't quite trusting my job. And then when you got to camping, I'm like, well, it depends. Am I going to have to load up the car? Am I going to have to put up the tent? Who's coming with us? Am I going to have to keep my daughter occupied 24/7 in the woods? Right? So I can see how this would be a great process for decision making as for adults too. Because I could feel it. Yeah, it's really fun. So all these things that we've talked about, using my daughter as an example, also work for 2 and 3-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They don't have to be a certain age to take them to interact in these processes.
No.
Cool. Because a lot of what you said, excuse me, go ahead.
What you'll find is that a lot of generator or manifesting generator children, they will initially talk to you with and uh-uhs. But as parents, we're like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, or say yes or say no. And so we kind of tell them not to do that.
It's, we say, use your words.
Yes.
All the time. Use your words, right? Be polite.
Yes. I don't understand. I mean, sometimes you don't understand if it's a or an and so you're like, wait, use your words. I want some clarity here.
Right. And if we can go with their natural instinct and their natural flow, I can see how that communication is going to open up. I can see how that might even work for my husband. So
for husbands.
Good for everything. So a lot of what you have talked about in the last half hour or so has been just common sense parenting. So if we take it now and really break it down into human design and GracePoint parenting, how deep can we go to really just take it out of, oh, everybody should listen to their kids and everybody should give their kids options, right? How deep can we really go with this system? And are we going to see where their blocks are? I guess I'm asking because I kind of know we might see where their blocks are, or where we're going to see where we're going to have difficulty in things like maybe homework. So talk a little bit about how we can go deeper in the system.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you have your child's human design chart, first of all, you have an energetic blueprint of your child. And so you understand their energy. And if they've been at school for 8 hours, whenever they get home, they're going to need a break before they do homework. And that break might look like playing with Legos or coloring or watching TV or playing outside with their friends, and then doing homework right before bed or right before dinner, or maybe like my kids in the morning during breakfast.
Oh, interesting. Now you have 3 different types. Do they all like to do homework in the morning? Is that a type related, or is that just a system that you figured out that works for your family?
It's just a system that I figured out that works for my family. I have one son, a manifestor, who won't do homework. He actually refuses to do it because his argument is that he's been at school for 8 hours, and if they are giving him homework, then they're not doing a very good job. And so I part of being the parent that I want to be is letting him make his own decisions. And he's the one who is talking to his teacher, and his teacher understands why he's doing it. And she's given him a little more leeway in the classroom and independence, because she sees that he's very capable of doing his homework and kind of doing other things in the classroom that some of the other kids would need more help doing. And so because of that kind of makes up for his homework.
Okay.
But definitely talking to your child and understanding them. And then, he says he's not going to do his homework. And so his teacher, whenever she's talking to me, it's like, all right, let's have a conference. And my son was the one who really told the teacher what was going on. And then we came up with a solution for how we could supplement that homework.
And so with the manifestor, if I remember correctly, and your son's the manifestor, right? He's going to tell you what's going on.
Pretty much.
So actually that was even perfect for within type, because he told the teacher, I'm not doing homework because of this and this and this reason. So he responded exactly to type as you described it.
Exactly. He informed us what his decision was, and we figured out a way where it could be appropriate for him.
And so I can see how that would be useful. Are there tricks as a parent to get in there and encourage your manifestors to tell you what's going on? Or do they naturally do that anyway?
They naturally do that, but there's a polite way to do it.
Right.
And there's a not so polite way to do it. And so a manifestor actually, they don't instantly inform you. Actually, that's not, it takes too long to stop, translate what they want to do, and then tell somebody who will give them permission to do it. And so they typically just go out and do whatever they want to do. And so from a young age, we've always told them, you're allowed to do most things as long as you're telling me what you're doing. You're allowed to go to most places as long as you tell me where you're going. And so knowing that he has that freedom, as long as he's informing me, he's learned that to inform.
This is so interesting, because I think as parents, very often we think that it's just differences in children, right? But that's true. And you're saying that we can see this in the chart.
Yes.
We can see this as a manifestor. So if we got 20 children together and there was a certain percentage of those children that were going to go do what they wanted to do and knew what they wanted to do and didn't really have time to explain it all to you or ask permission first, right? That would show up in their chart that they were manifestors. So actually, the chart is correlating what we might intuitively know as parents and then helps us go deeper to relate.
Exactly.
That's what I'm understanding. That's very cool. Are there certain types of children that do better homeschooled than others?
I think the Reflector would do probably a lot better homeschooled as long as they have social groups that they're going to. Reflectors are designed to be out in the world, but being able to make their own schedule, being able to take time away and then go out into the world on their energetic level, on their timing, I think that's really helpful. It doesn't have to be that way, but I think, that would be really helpful. My Manifestor son, initially he started going to school, but since then he's told me he's getting tired of school and he wants to be homeschooled again because my kids started out being homeschooled.
Okay, so you are a parenting coach, you're a human design coach, you're a homeschooling mom. You've got so much to offer potential clients. I just love that. Thanks for being on the show. I know that you have different ways that you work with people. Do you do packages? Do you do classes? Can you just share a little bit about how you can work with parents who want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. It starts by getting your human design chart, and we will post the link for there. Once you have the chart, then scheduling a free 30-minute consultation with me so that I can, talk about what your parenting challenges are and see how I can help you and how some strategies, or it might be something simple, it might be something a little bit more complex. But yeah, definitely just talking to see what your needs are and if I can support you or not.
Nice. Thank you. It seems like there's the same challenges parents all over the world have, right? Getting your kids to eat right, getting enough sleep, staying off the computer, getting their homework done. Let's just choose one of those, electronics and computers. What are your thoughts? Do different types gravitate to electronics, or should we just keep our kids off of them?
Well, I think there are some kids that have a little bit of difficulty learning when enough is enough. And those children probably are a little more excessive with the electronics than other children. Like the Sacral, the generator, or the manifesting generator, those children have got to get out and exercise every single day in order to wear themselves out and sleep peacefully at night. And the Reflector, the Projector, and the Manifestor, they actually need a lot of downtime right before bed. And sometimes it can take up to an hour, unless they're in some type of routine. But they need time to just lay down and either listen to music or read a book or have someone read to them or have someone draw on their back to just discharge that extra energy that they picked up throughout the day so that they can sleep peacefully. And so if your child isn't sleeping a lot and they're on electronics a lot, I would kind of question what's the timing on that. Are they on electronics right before bed? And if so, maybe trying to have them be on the electronics be like a few hours before their bedtime.
And I heard you say for generators and manifesting generators, exercise. Does that need to be before bed or anytime? Just make sure they're worn out.
Anytime. Just make sure they're worn out.
Got it. Really, really great information. I see that someone asked if you teach a class. I know you've got parenting classes coming up in January. Anything going on right now?
Nothing going on right now. We're going to wait till after the holidays to start that.
Okay, but people can contact you in the meantime. GracePointMatrix.com/Kristin-Shorter. We'll put the link in. They can get their chart there. Anything you'd like to leave us with today, Kristin?
Yes, I just want to say thanks for being here. I had so much fun. Thanks for inviting me, Michelle. And get your human design chart. Get your child's human design chart, and let's have fun.
Yay! Thank you. Bye, everyone.